Hey everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. What I'm about to share with you is deeply personal and honestly I'm still processing everything that's happened. This is a story about betrayal, divorce, unexpected kindness, and a decision that could change my life forever. So please grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let me tell you everything from the beginning. My husband and I were married for 12 years. 12 years. We built a life together, had 4 beautiful daughters, and I thought we were happy. I ran a small salon in town and he had a good job. Life wasn't perfect, but it was ours. We had a customary marriage, nothing fancy with certificates and all that, just the traditional way our families arranged things. But to me it was real. It was everything. Then one day my entire world came crashing down. I discovered that my husband was having an affair. But here's the part that still makes my stomach turn even now, 8 years later. The woman he was cheating with? She wasn't a stranger. She was someone who came to my salon regularly. She would walk into my shop, smile at me and call me auntie, even though we were practically the same age. Can you imagine? This woman would sit with my hairdressers for hours. She would have lunch with us. She would even help them sweep the floor, clean up the salon, and at the end of the day my girls would give her a little money for helping out. We treated her like family. Like she was one of us. And all that time she was sleeping with my husband. Whenever he came to visit me at the salon, she would be there, calling him uncle with this sweet, innocent voice. Oh. Meanwhile, they were carrying on behind my back and I had no idea. None whatsoever. I trusted her. I trusted him. I was blind to what was happening right in front of my face. When I finally found out, I felt like someone had ripped my heart out of my chest. The betrayal was overwhelming. It wasn't just that he cheated. It was the disrespect. The humiliation of having this woman in my space, in my business, laughing with me while she was destroying my marriage. I confronted him. We had long, painful conversations. And you know what? I actually gave him a chance. I told him, end this affair. Choose our family. Choose our 12 years together. We can save this marriage. I was willing to forgive. I was willing to work through it. Because that's what you do when you have 4 children and 12 years invested in someone, right? But he didn't stop. He continued seeing her. So I made the hardest decision of my life. I left. I packed up my things, took my daughters, and I left the man I had loved for 12 years. And then just 2 months later he married her. 2 months. The ink wasn't even dry on our separation and he was already making her his wife. And then she fell pregnant immediately. That's when I knew I had to make it official. I filed for divorce. Since we didn't have a marriage certificate, just a customary marriage, the process was simpler than it might have been otherwise. We went to the local court and on the same day we were granted the divorce. The judge ordered him to pay $3,000 every month in child support for all 4 of our daughters, plus their school fees. And you know what surprised me? He didn't argue. He didn't contest anything. Not the divorce, not the child support amount, nothing. He just accepted it all. But here's where things get interesting. On that very same day, right after we left the courthouse, he sent me $5,000. $5,000. I was confused, so I called him and asked, "What is this extra $2,000 for?" And his response shocked me. He said, "I don't think $3,000 will be enough to support all the kids." From that day forward, he became the most reliable ex-husband you could imagine. Every single term he would pay the school fees directly to the school. No delays, no excuses. And every single month without fail he would send me $5,000 for child support. I never had to chase him. I never had to beg. I never had to take him back to court. He just did it. And then he went even further. He started paying my rent. When I asked him why, he said, "I know the salon doesn't always make much money and some months when business is slow, I want to make sure my girls have a roof over their heads." My girls. He still called them my girls. This went on for 8 years. 8 long years. He remained married to that other woman, the one who used to call me auntie. They had 2 children together. And yet, month after month, year after year, he took care of me and our daughters as if we were still his responsibility. As if we still mattered. During those 8 years, I tried to move on with my life. I dated 2 different men, hoping to find that connection again, hoping to rebuild what I had lost. But neither relationship worked out. There was no spark, no chemistry. And being a Christian woman, I had made a vow to myself not to sleep around, not to give my body to just anyone. So after my divorce I remained celibate. For 8 years I didn't sleep with anyone. Then 2 months ago everything changed. I was traveling back from a funeral at the village when our vehicle was involved in an accident. It was terrible. I broke my arm badly. There were several of us injured and we were all taken to the hospital in that small town. My oldest daughter called her father to tell him what had happened. And this man, my ex-husband, he left his office immediately. He drove 200 kilometers to come find me. 200 kilometers. He came to that small town hospital, took one look at the situation and made a decision. He paid for a private ambulance and brought me immediately to the city for proper treatment. He paid for scans and x-rays to make sure I was okay. When they discovered I needed surgery to repair my broken arm, he paid for that too. He made sure my sister, who was at my bedside, had meals. And when I was finally discharged, he paid the entire hospital bill and took me home himself. Before he left my house that day, I had to ask him. I looked at this man, this ex-husband who had betrayed me 8 years ago, and I asked, "Why are you doing all this for me?" His response made my heart skip a beat. He said, "You are the mother of my children. You will always matter to me." And then he left. The next day he came back. And this is where things got complicated. You see, after I was discharged from the hospital, my sister had to leave. My oldest daughter had an exam, so she left early in the morning. I was home alone with this cast on my arm, and I hadn't bathed since leaving the hospital. I couldn't bathe myself because I couldn't get the cast wet and I had no one to help me. When my ex-husband stopped by after work to check on me, he immediately noticed I was still in the same clothes. It was October and we were having a terrible heat wave that year. I was sweating, uncomfortable and miserable. Plus, there was no electricity, so I couldn't even use a fan to cool down. He asked me if I had bathed and I explained the situation. And then he did something that shocked me. He said he would help me bathe. I hesitated. Of course I hesitated. This was my ex-husband. We had been divorced for 8 years. But he said something that made sense. He said, "There's nothing on your body that I haven't seen before. Let's just get this done before that cast starts itching from sweat." I was so uncomfortable, so hot, so desperate for relief that I agreed. He filled the bath for me, helped me undress and bathed me. I'm a full-figured woman, and this man cleaned every part of my body with such care and dignity. He put lotion on me, dressed me in clean clothes, and then left as if it was the most normal thing in the world. And then he came back the next day. And the day after that. And the day after that. Every single day until my cast was removed, he would come over after work for an hour or so and bathe me. At first, it was incredibly awkward. I felt vulnerable and exposed. But gradually I got used to it. I became comfortable being naked around him again. And honestly, I was grateful that none of my daughters had to take on that responsibility. The moment the cast was removed and I could use my hand again, he stopped bathing me. Just like that. No more intimate contact. He went back to being the supportive ex-husband who checked in occasionally. Until last night. Last night, he came over to drop off a birthday present for our second-born daughter. We had a small birthday dinner together, all of us around the table like old times. It felt warm and familiar. When the evening ended, I walked him to his car to say goodbye. And then he kissed me. Before I could even process what was happening, before I could think about the consequences or the complications, we were having sex in his car. Let me tell you something. After 8 years of celibacy, after 8 years of being alone, after 8 years of pushing down every feeling and every desire, that intimacy was like an explosion. It was like riding an old bike. My body remembered him. My heart remembered him. The sex was amazing. I'm not going to lie about that. It was passionate and familiar and everything I had been missing for nearly a decade. But then I went back inside my house and reality hit me like a truck. I lay in my bed alone thinking about him. Thinking about what we had just done. Thinking about how good it felt to be in his arms again. And then it hit me. He's sleeping in bed with someone else. Right now, at this very moment, he's going home to her. To the woman who used to call me auntie. To the woman he left me for. All the pain came flooding back. All the hurt. All the humiliation. The thought of being the side chick, the other woman, the secret, it made me feel physically sick. I didn't leave my marriage and suffer through 8 years of loneliness just to become what she was to us. This morning I woke up to a text message from him. He said he's been thinking about me. He said he wants us to reconcile. Reconcile. After 8 years. After he married someone else. After he had 2 children with her. I asked him the obvious question. What about your wife? And his response. You are my wife. Those 4 words. You're my wife. He said he would take care of it. whatever that means. Now I'm sitting here, completely torn apart, trying to figure out what to do. Should I accept his proposal to reconcile? Is this real, or is this just nostalgia and loneliness playing tricks on both of us? It's been 8 years. He has built a whole life with this other woman. They have 2 children together. Can you just walk away from that? Should you? And what about me? I've convinced myself that I moved on. I convinced myself that I was happy with my life, with my daughters, with my salon, with my independence. But the truth is I've been lonely. I tried dating and it didn't work because no one gave me what he gives me. No one else has that chemistry, that energy, that connection. Last night proved that. Last night showed me that my body still responds to him, that my heart still has feelings for him that I thought were dead and buried. And I'm ashamed to admit this, but I want more. Even now, knowing he's married to someone else, knowing he goes home to her every night, part of me wants to keep seeing him. Part of me wants to continue making love with him in his car whenever he comes around. Because he's mine. He was mine first. He gave me 12 years and 4 daughters. She took him away from me. But is that who I am? Is that who I want to be? A woman who shares a man with another woman? Because that's exactly what I refused to do 8 years ago. That's exactly why I left. I couldn't share him then, so how can I share him now? I keep asking myself if I made a mistake by leaving him all those years ago. Maybe I should have fought harder. Maybe I should have forgiven him and worked through it. Maybe if I had stayed we wouldn't be in this mess now. Or maybe I would have spent 8 years being miserable, always wondering if he was still seeing her, always feeling like I wasn't enough. I don't know. I honestly don't know. What I do know is this. He has been an incredible father to our daughters. He has supported us financially in ways that go beyond what any court could order. He has shown up for us time and time again. And when I was injured and vulnerable, he was there without hesitation. But does that make up for the betrayal? Does that erase the fact that he chose her over me? Does that change the fact that he's still married to her right now at this very moment? I'm a Christian woman. I believe in the sanctity of marriage and family. I believe in forgiveness. But I also believe in dignity and self-respect. I left him because I refused to share him, and accepting him back now means I would be doing exactly that. Unless he really does take care of it like he said. Unless he really is willing to leave her and come back to me and our daughters fully. But even if he does, can I trust him? If he left me for her and now he wants to leave her for me, what's to stop him from doing this again in another few years with someone else? These are the questions keeping me up at night. These are the thoughts spinning in my head constantly. Part of me feels like I'm being foolish even considering this. Part of me feels like I'm betraying myself and everything I stood for 8 years ago when I walked away with my head held high. But another part of me, a part I'm almost afraid to acknowledge, feels like maybe this is a second chance. Maybe this is life giving us an opportunity to fix what was broken. Maybe he's realized what he lost. Maybe he's genuinely sorry and wants to make things right. Or maybe I'm just lonely and desperate and confusing great sex after 8 years of celibacy with genuine love and commitment. I don't have the answers. I wish I did. I wish someone could tell me definitively what the right choice is. Do I protect my heart and maintain my dignity by saying no? Or do I take a risk on love and family and give him another chance? What complicates everything is that I can't deny the chemistry between us. After 8 years apart, after all the pain and betrayal, my body still responds to him in ways it hasn't responded to anyone else. That has to mean something, right? Or is that just physical attraction and muscle memory? And what about his current wife? What about their 2 children? If he leaves her for me, I become the woman who broke up their home. I become what she was to us. Can I live with that? But then again, she knew what she was doing 8 years ago. She knew he was married. She knew I existed. She came to my salon and smiled in my face while sleeping with my husband. Does she deserve my sympathy now? I honestly don't know. All I know is that my life was predictable and stable until 2 months ago when I broke my arm. Now everything is chaos and confusion and conflicting emotions. I have 4 daughters to think about. They've grown up these past 8 years with their father being present but separate. They've adjusted to this reality. If we reconcile, it will shake their world again. Is that fair to them? But they've also never stopped loving their father. They light up when he comes around. Maybe having their parents together again would be good for them. Or maybe I'm just rationalizing. So here I am putting my story out there for all of you to hear. I'm not looking for judgment, but I am looking for perspective. Have any of you been through something similar? Have you ever reconciled with an ex after years apart? Did it work out or did you regret it? I need to make a decision soon. He's waiting for an answer. And every day that passes, every time I think about him, every time I remember how it felt to be in his arms again, it gets harder to think clearly. Is it wise to reconcile with a man who betrayed me, married someone else, and is still married to her now? Or is this my one chance at getting back the love of my life and healing what was broken 8 years ago? I truly don't know. But I wanted to share my story with you all because maybe, just maybe, hearing other perspectives will help me find clarity. Thank you for listening. Thank you for not judging me. And if you've been through something similar, please share your story in the comments. I need all the wisdom I can get right now. Take care of yourselves, everyone. And remember, life is complicated. Love is complicated. Sometimes there are no easy answers and we just have to trust our hearts and hope we're making the right choice. Until next time.